Hello.
Hi.
Happy Sunday. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Hi, Miss Liz. How you doing? Oh, let me fix my screen.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. It's a blessing as always to be here on Let's Talk
Yes.
Empath, everybody, with your girl Leeonessa and
Lizzie, and many blessings to everyone.
yes. Blessings, blessings, blessings all around.
Yes.
So we're gonna start with our one card draw. Today I'm actually going to use a different deck today. It's Healing with the Fairies Oracle cards. There is a difference between Oracle cards and Tarot cards. You'll find out as you listen to the difference. Oracle cards are really good for setting guidance, and tarot cards are just literally, they could be very harsh and they tell you exactly what's going on, what position you're in, where you're at in your life. Oracle cards give you more of a guidance. They kind of like, they tell you what the situation is, but at the same time, they also tell you where you need to be headed and where you need to be going. So in general, what do we all need to know? And I'm going to give it in a bulk of a month. In a bulk of a month, the time frame of a month, what is it that everyone as a whole needs to consider? And since there's no, not every deck has reversals, but here's another thing. If you notice that the thing about reversals, when you do get them, and even if you have a card deck that says there's none, remember what reversals are supposed to mean. They help you see that whatever the card is showing you, that very thing is out of balance. So the card that I drew today is feeling safe.
That's a very pretty card.
Thank you. And it came reversed. So there's a lot of people right now that have some insecurities about where they're at in their life, and there's some sort of like they don't feel secure. This could also apply to, let's say, your job. You don't really feel secure in your position at work. Something's a little bit off at work in the job. You could also be feeling that, for the people who are in relationships, they don't feel secure in their relationships. Things are a little bit rocky right now. Communication's a bit rocky right now. Finances a bit rocky right now. So it's so the feeling of feeling safe, everybody's having a bit of a hard time right now feeling secure in the situation that they're in. And it could be it doesn't have to be one situation. It could be plethora of situations that you're going through where you just do not feel safe. You do not feel secure. So for everybody considered, I'm praying for myself. I'm praying for Miss Lizzie. I'm praying for everybody out there. Anybody who's feeling insecure about their situation and they don't feel safe where they're at, I'm praying for all of us. Can we pray? Yes. Is there a huge misconception that for some reason people who do tarot cards or are considered empaths, that they don't belong to a religion, or they don't have a practice? You can or you don't. Okay, you either do or you don't. It's fine. And no, people are going to judge you falsely for that. It's not really their place to judge you, but they're going to, people are that way.
Yes.
You just expect that you're going to get a headache in 2 years. So overall, if you look at this card, which I want everybody to study this card, it's very beautiful. She's sitting down. Okay. Well, actually, she's standing. My bad. She has a sword in her hand. The card meaning any feelings of danger or vulnerability are healing, and they're replaced with the certain knowledge that you are safe and protected right now. So again, reverse, this is the opposite of that.
Right.
Have you felt frightened or insecure lately? If so, this card is a signal that heaven is aware of your feelings and has come to your aid, or is coming to your aid. So things are right now churning, and you just have to trust it with good faith and good trust. You are surrounded by heavenly beings who love and protect you on an ongoing basis. And that also can mean that there's people in your life who love and care about you that maybe you don't even know how much, and they're already thinking about you, and they're already putting you in their future plans. And you may not know what those future plans are or how they're fitting you into their future plans, but it's happening. And you don't have to know everything. Sometimes things are good and best as a surprise. The fairies remind you that your thoughts of danger are triggering your feelings of vulnerability. In your mind, you have given power to some outside entity. The more you doubt and the more you fear, remember, you're feeding those negativities. It's empowering them, and it's working against you rather than for you. You believe that this idol that you have created has the power to hurt you, yet the only power it has is that which you have attributed to it. Remember, you know how some people, they don't believe in curses? Good. Curses only have power if you believe in them. The fairies urge you to awaken from this mistaken concept. See that you have the power to create a happy and secure dream, and make the decision to feel safe. Affirmation when you receive this card is, I am safe, I am secure, I am completely protected at all times. So if you're feeling the opposite of that, remember, if you go to church on Sundays, and you go every day, every Sunday faithfully. And some people don't go Sundays, some people go Saturdays, or some people go during the week, and some people go Saturdays during the week and on the week, like weekends. They go a lot. I have some family members that do that, and they just consume themselves in it. The thing about that is, if you can consume yourself in the surrounding, in the church, but you have to remember what it means when you do this. When you do card readings and you come together with other people, what are you doing? You're giving energy, you're becoming that. And remember, it's not a building. You don't need a building to worship God, because when Jesus Christ was in the desert and he had no water, if you wanted to be baptized, where are you going to get baptized? There's no lake. He can cut open a cactus, take some water from the cactus and sprinkle it on you. You're still getting baptized. It still counts. So for people who feel like you have to be submerged in water completely and entirely in order for it to be counted as baptism, listen, talk to Jesus Christ, and let then when you speak to Jesus about that, like directly, and you ask him and you're praying, and I don't mean this sarcastically, but I do mean it, because if you believe that you can get in touch and you can pray to Jesus Christ, and you can get in touch with Jesus Christ, then sweetheart, do it. And I bet you he's going to come back and tell you, listen, I have the power to make anything possible. Whether it's a little bit of water or a whole freaking lake, you going to get baptized if you so will it. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Anyway, back to tarot cards. Miss Liz, question.
Yes.
As empaths, can we use tarot cards? We might have some technical difficulties, and that's okay, because we in Florida.
Yes. We are. And it's storming right now, so technical difficulties are possible. So, can we use tarot cards as an empath? Is that what you asked? Yes, we
Yes.
can use tarot cards as an empath. In fact, tarot cards actually help us when we try to help somebody else. It helps guide the other person. But the other person actually has to be open and honest with what they're wanting to ask, because if they falsely give information, the cards will falsely give them information back. The cards are going by what they ask. So if they're not open minded and they're just asking a random question just to ask, the cards are going to give them a random answer. And then that's where, but that's not what I meant, and I think you're fake. Well, if you ask a real question, you'll get a real answer.
Exactly. Authentic. If you want something
Exactly.
authentic, you have to start authentic in the first place.
Right.
Um, because you know how that good on saying that you get what you put out?
Yes, I do.
Sweetheart, it applies to everything, ladies and gentlemen. It applies to everything. You will get what you put out.
Exactly.
If you believe that karma exists, sweetheart, you're right. It does. And again, you get what you put out. If you want to be sarcastic with somebody else's, someone else's gift, some way, shape, or form, you're going to get that same treatment, whether you like it or not.
And most of the
What?
time,
Oh,
oh, sorry, didn't
my
mean to
thing
cut you
almost
off.
fell. No, it almost fell. Something of mine almost fell. You go right ahead.
And I was gonna say too, most empaths, whether people realize this or not, they can tell when someone is just playing around with them, toying with them. And most empaths will go along with this game for just a short amount of time. But we already know that you're playing around and you're playing a game. But if it makes you feel better to, not you, but if it makes him or her feel better that, oh, I think I got one on him or her, and I'm gonna, just toy around and see what, we already know. We're just letting you do your thing and
We're
we do
humoring you.
ours. Yeah.
Yep. Whatever.
Mhm.
Exactly. Tarot and Oracle decks for empaths and highly sensitive people. Let's go into it. When you're an empath or highly sensitive person, You will probably familiarize with feeling overwhelmed quite a lot and not being able to handle too much stimulants at once.
Mhm.
Um, personally, um, personally, I fall into both categories myself, and I think a lot of people do. Being an empath and highly sensitive person, and I have to confess, there are days that even the sound of a person's breathing could be sensitive, but not. It doesn't bother me. See, for me, when I hear the sound of somebody eating, it for me, I like it. It's like a beautiful sound to me, in my opinion. Practicing tarot is a skill most empaths and highly sensitive people will turn out to be understanding in. They will, um, and why do we, if somebody were to ask, okay, well, if you're an empath and you can pick up on people's emotions and you can pick up on all these things, why even bother with a tarot deck? Why do you need to go that far? And some people think that what tarot decks are evil. Well, we're going to get into that. Um, tarot tarot decks or tarot decks cards, they come in different designs. Now, of course, I would like to. I pick ones. Me specifically, I pick ones that resonate with the Holy Spirit. You know, light. Anything that has to do with the light, like fairies, something beautiful, something mermaids, angels. They even have tarot decks that have like Mary Magdalene, the Blessed Mother, Jesus Christ. They have so I do I like to look at the artistry and the cards that particularly in that field. Okay, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
Um, it's also extremely doing readings can be emotionally draining. Um, it is extremely important to protect yourself and your energy before even doing a reading. As an empath, we'll pick up on your energy before we start. We'll get an idea of what we're getting ourselves into. We and true empaths know that when doing a card reading, we are dealing with someone who may have mental issues and might snap us or even get violent should we give them a bad reading or we tell them something that they don't want to hear. What you said this, but you said that. So before even starting a reading, there are steps that you should take. That's a good idea to take before even getting into the reading because these are
Mhm.
real people and they're coming for real advice. And so an empath and a card reader sort of finds themselves without even if they don't mean to, they find themselves as a therapist, a counselor. I think that if you are in the field of being a counselor or a therapist, like myself and Lizzie, and I'm not trying to say this just because we do it, it just makes you that much stronger and that much more professional as a card reader because then you're not just doing it for the glamour. You're not just I did card readings, but you actually are handling a professional, real situation because you're going to deal with people that are not right
And
in here.
sometimes you have to, I think, I don't know if you've experienced this, Leonessa, but if you know that a person mentally isn't strong enough to handle the truth, you kind of have to soften the blow for them. Like you can tell who you can be straightforward with, and then sometimes you just kind of have to soften it so it's not so hard on them.
And make sure you eat. I'm eating a pizza.
Oh, good. Looks
hmm
yummy. Mm-hmm.
hmm Some
Eat it
people don't believe that you should eat before having a carb reading. They say, "Oh, don't be full." You don't have to be full, but you got to eat something.
right.
Crazy.
And it's also good before you do a card reading. Empaths need to learn to close themselves off as much as possible so they don't put their energy into the cards themselves. So the cards would be
hmm
reading about the reader as well as the other person. So you have to literally shut yourself off as
Right.
best as you can. So
Right.
the focus, the energy goes towards almost like you're the mirror, and the
hmm
energy would go back to the person that wants the card reading.
Right. Right. Exactly.
You also want to ask for the white light of protection around you while you're
Mm,
reading. So that's always important. And when you're done, you thank uh, the white light of protection that came to protect while you read.
yep. You need to have that. You have to pray every time before you do a card reading.
Yes,
It can get
yes,
deep.
it can. And again, we don't tell you lottery numbers that you're going to win.
Mm-mm.
If that was the case, I would
Mm-mm.
be going to Leeonessa, and Leeonessa would probably be coming to me. What's the lottery numbers of the week? So we would know, because that's we don't do that. We can't tell you when you're going to get pregnant. That doesn't. I mean, unless Leonessa's got a gift like that. I personally don't. I can't tell someone when they're going to get pregnant. Can you get
There's the people's gifts vary.
right?
So somebody's gifts are specifically centered around like fertility, and maybe that's a person who would be very great in the medical field. They would make a great doctor. They would make a
Right,
great nurse,
right,
pediatrician, whatever. Okay,
right.
then there you go. As one way to make sure to keep it together throughout your readings is by again using a tarot or oracle deck that suits your sensitive qualities.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? That's why I choose what I choose. As some decks can come across a little negative or
Mm-hmm.
maybe even quite dark or gloomy.
Right.
Um, so you want to do what's best suited and highly sent to a highly sensitive person
Right.
because the artwork and the cards are very suggestive on the type of mood you probably going to end up feeling. They set the
Mm,
mood themselves. The cards set the mood.
right.
So you want to focus on decks that are easy on the eye, mostly illustrated with light and soft pastel colors. Um Make sure the meaning of the cards are being communicated in an uplifting and constructive way. So you won't be caught off guard by any messages that might feel a little forceful or negatively charged. Um,
Exactly.
and There's something called the Starseed Oracle. The Starseed Oracle is a new age deck that is absolutely perfect to use when you're an empath or highly sensitive person that's into astrology and mystical worlds as well. So if that's what your fancy is, then there you go. This modern deck is specifically created for empaths and light workers and has mostly pink, green, and blue pastel colors, which gives the deck a super dreamy vibe that will get you in to a meditative state immediately, which you want to have that. It's a deck that's extremely easy on the eyes and will be able to take you to worlds yet unknown. Really helps you. And when that is said, it's something beautiful. It's poetically said for like when you meditate, you can just kind of drift off into your own world. That doesn't mean like go nuts and go crazy. That's not what that means. It just means is when you're relaxed, you know, when
Mm-hmm.
you go to if you've ever seen the movie Something's Gotta Give, and you remember the scene where the doctor asked him to kind of meditate, otherwise he was going to be in the hospital all the time because he kept having these chest pains and he thought he was having a heart attack. And she
Right.
says your diagnosis is very clever, but it was very inaccurate. And so she asked him to close his eyes, and she made sure that his eyes were closed, and she told him to take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
Picture the most calmest place that he could. The most calmest place that he could. And she asked him, "What do you see? What do you smell? What do you taste?" And he was saying I think he mentioned some kind of drink. It could have been a margarita. I know he said a Cuban cigar, miles of ocean and beach, and so that's meditation.
Right.
Um and that's going into your own world. um it's and then and you can It says the Starseed Oracle deck consists of out of a total of 53 cards and comes with a helpful guide that will inform you on the meanings of each card and possible ways you can interpret them. There are also some Starseed spreads included, which is a nice extra. And you can read more about this. I'll give you the website in a minute. There's also something called the Spirit Song Tarot. The Spirit Song Tarot deck is perfect for charging your batteries, like your energy, your momentum, when they've been drained by everyday life. Like, oh, I feel so drained. I feel horrible. I feel like crap. What and I guess what's really liked about this deck is that the cards are extremely positive and gentle. I think that's another thing. Again, if you are someone who's not a therapist and you are not a counselor, you might want to take it easy on the people that need the readings, because again, you do not know what you're dealing with. Where in most decks, you'll find the reverse cards to bring a rather negative explanation. This deck will explain the reverse cards in a more positive light and show you how you can use them in such a way to actually help you move forward in life. Exactly. Is the opinion of the person explaining this deck that what makes this deck very suitable for empaths and highly sensitive persons. The illustrations of the deck are truly magical and mesmerizing. The animals are beautifully drawn and are well paired to each card's individual meaning. And it sort of just goes on from there. It talks about Moonology Oracle cards. And it just keeps going and keep going. We'll be here forever. But the name of this, if you want to learn more about these decks and about this specific topic, the name of the website is, and I want to put it up on the screen for you in just about a minute, calmingcosmos.com. So just type in calmingcosmos.com, calmingcosmos.com. And I'll put it up on the screen so that you know how to spell it. People can look it up and they know how to spell it. And while I do that, you can go ahead with what you want to inform everybody next.
Okay. Well, I think another important thing to know is that empath readers, they're very good listeners, not just when it comes to tarot cards, but in general. Empaths are really good listeners. They seem to be truly connected to the person that is speaking, and you notice that you may notice that people flock to you. They just have this. I don't know what it is about you. I just feel like I can tell you anything. You have such a calming energy. There's something calm and peaceful about you. And as true as that is, it also can become something draining depending on what the person is carrying with them. And it's not intentional, but once you're around so many people, it drains your energy, and then people are like, why are you so quiet? Did I say something? It's not that the person said anything wrong. It's just we're drained. It's a real thing. You feel literally drained.
It is what it is.
Yes.
And we can only do so much when we already are drained. But we'll be back for after our commercial break with more of empaths and tarot decks and oracle cards. So stay tuned. Be safe. Be careful. It's going to be a trying month for a lot of people. But you'll be okay, I promise. You will.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Hello, 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 and we're back. We're
Yes,
back
we.
with more empaths and oracle decks and tarot cards. Let's go.
Yes, yes. So I recently got asked, and maybe you can help me with this, Leonessa. Are tarot cards evil in any fashion, form? What do you have to
Well,
say to
like we
that?
just discussed, uh, they yes and no. It depends on the deck. Like, would somebody get a deck like just like some jewelry? You're not gonna do jewelry that has like devil symbols and stuff. If you
Yeah,
have a tarot deck that has like Lucifer and a bunch of other demonic characters on there, you're not going to really want to pick that one up. Or something that is just dark and moody. Again, you're not going to want to pick up on that. You want to again gravitate to something that is more of light. So, no, they do not have to be. Just like um, when people gather together and they go to places of worship, and this is if it doesn't matter where it is. Some people they let it go to their heads. They have a perception about what they're supposed to be doing, and they let it go to their heads. And then there's some people that are already not the right place in their mind, mentally stable or what have you, and so they take things to the extreme. I mean, we've seen this. That's like if somebody says is going to church a good idea for everyone, because there's some people that they feel like they have to be loud and they have to act like they've just been possessed and they have to faint and fall on the floor. And it's not about that. It's supposed to be a calming environment, a place to come together, connect energy, and to worship. And that's if you like, and that means that some people worship Buddha, and I just want to, because they do, that's different cultures. And that's like asking, oh, is this culture demonic? When you ask if tarot decks are evil. No, they do not have to be. It's all on the people. It's people's intentions. However, with that said, you're not gonna want to get artwork on a card that has evil things that on every freaking card. I mean, you have the death card that warns you when something's going to be ending. But again, it has to do with like picking something that's gentle and softer on your eyes, just like what we talked about for like highly sensitive people and
right,
empaths. So, but
right.
for those people that think that they all are just demonic and they're all evil, no, incorrect. That they're not all that way.
Now, Leoness, I have another question for you. Are Ouija boards and tarot cards the same thing?
No, no, nope. Because tarot cards are not a portal. The Ouija board is.
Yes. Yes, I've had, since I do jewelry making, I have people that have asked me to do, and I'm letting everybody now amongst us know that I do not, nor will I make Ouija board necklaces or planchette earrings for anybody, because you're ripping a hole through heaven and hell. You don't know
Mhm.
what's coming through.
Correct.
Um, Tarot cards just give readings to help guide the person. And me being able to see spirits that have nothing to
Hmm.
do with tarot cards, um, it's not the same thing as, because I've had people tell me, "Oh, well, you talking to spirits is the same thing as talking through a Ouija board." No, it's not. This is not phone home ET. You don't know what's coming through the other line. Spirits, the
Yeah,
spirits are
don't work the
actually
same.
here, right? The spirits are actually still present. You just can't see them. Some people can, some people can't. But I will not work with a Ouija board, nor will I be in a room with a Ouija board. If someone's got a Ouija board, goodbye. I want nothing to do with that.
Right. Exactly.
So don't ask me to make a Ouija board of any kind, because
That's right.
I don't do that stuff.
And so, is it true that there are people who have the a stereotype or wrong impression about anybody who calls themselves an empath?
Yes. Um, to me, what I get is when you call yourself an empath, you don't know what you're talking about. It's automatic. You're automatically an evil person because how dare you say that you can see stuff, you have one of the 11. If you go back and watch our shows, we talk about the 11 different types of gifts of empaths. So
Mhm.
um there's nothing evil about it because there's no evil intention with it. So yeah.
Right. And so that if someone were to see uh let's say a show like this and they say, "Oh, empath, oh, these people are just not right already." What would you say to someone like that?
Well, what I've said before to a couple people was that it's easy for someone to jump to a conclusion if they're not an empath. So it's wrong for someone to be quick to judge without understanding, without getting to know. And I think a lot of people who are quick to judge is because they're afraid of any other possibility because they are already set in their beliefs. They don't want to believe that there's any other possibility outside of what they already believe in.
They're afraid, yeah. They're afraid.
Yeah.
People fear what they don't understand. Everybody remembers, and again, if you notice, oh, why does Leoness always talk about movie and stuff? Because I'm a filmmaker, um, and I've been doing film since I was a little girl, and so as
Hmm.
Miss Lizzie. Okay, so artists are. Is it true that artists are they tend to be naturally gifted and highly sensitive individuals?
They are for some reason. They really are. Um, they're very creative in many, many things. It can be one thing or it can be a multitude of things that they're gifted in. And that's a good thing, I believe.
I do too. I agree.
Mm,
And I love your purple eyes. They are like
thank you.
working. I think, and I think it's also interesting that we're always color coordinated somehow.
We are.
We're
We
synced
are.
here. We're
We
synced. Ooh,
we've been
girl.
synced a couple times. A couple times we've been synced.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So far, every episode. And no, we do not discuss this. We don't even like prepare
And
and say,
I
okay, this is
noticed
when
you
we're
got
doing it.
blue in your shirt and I got blue in mine.
Oh my goodness. See, and we don't even plan this. It's all natural, but it says a
Mm-hmm.
lot. It says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What if someone wants to ask you, what if someone wants to ask you or tell you, excuse me, what if someone wants to tell you, you shouldn't be talking about those things. You need Jesus Christ in your life. What would you say?
First of all, I have Jesus Christ in my life. Um, I'm
Mhm.
Catholic. I was raised
Mhm.
Catholic. I still am Catholic.
Me too.
Um,
And we have a relationship.
hello, Jasomni. Thank you for joining.
Just tell me.
Yeah, so I think it has nothing to do with if you have some sort of belief or you don't believe in Jesus or I have great faith in the Lord. Doesn't change anything. You don't have to go to church. It's three or more amongst is a church.
Yes.
So
So what you're saying, if someone were to say, "Oh my gosh, you said people don't have to go to church." Let me tell you, well, if I may jump in and add that
I know
there
it's
are
gonna explode. Yeah.
I don't there's some people who cannot physically go to church like the building church. They have to find some means of doing it at home. They could be sick, they could be crippled, they could be disabled, all these different things that
Mm-hmm.
that apply to why they would not physically be able to appear at church in person. And sometimes, and also with COVID, everybody's trying to be very careful. And if you're
Right.
somebody with a low immune system, you're not going to want to go and be surrounded by all these people who probably are carrying a sickness and they don't tell anybody, and then you go and when they ask for everybody to join hands and then wish each other the sign of great God's blessing and grace and sign of peace to each other. Peace be with you and also with you.
Yes.
You could be touching somebody's hand and then they get you sick and then you're like, oh crap. You know, if you believe in the Holy Spirit, in Jesus Christ, and the power that exists, that really does, I firmly believe it, then you do not need to literally hold someone else's hands to become connected. Some
Right.
people do it in a circle in Indian style,
Right.
and they have their palms up and
Right.
they close their eyes and they just connect their energies together. And then that's
Right.
it. And
Right.
so it's really a preference. It's a preference, it's a choice.
Right.
It is a uniform style. Every place has its own uniform system. Every place has its own system. The
Right.
point is, uh, they say something about they mentioned, keep the Sabbath day holy. So if
Right.
someone was to ask you, oh, like let's say Jehovah's Witness wants to come and knocking at your door, and they, or if it's not, it's either Jehovah's Witness, which everybody has experienced that one, knocking at your door, or any type of other practice saying, we would like to teach you about Jesus Christ. What do you usually tell them?
Actually, starting really young, my dad was not a Jehovah's Witness. He was Catholic. And there was a Jehovah's Witness that would come in weekly to come visit him, and he would sit and talk to him. So I've been around where they have come to my house. I let them in. I listen to what they have to say. They listen to what I have to say. And it it doesn't mean that I'm going to join their church or their religion, but I like learning about other religious beliefs, um, except the darker ones. Um, I won't do that. There was one religion, I'm not going to name it, that said automatically I was asked, have you ever stolen anything as a child? Well, most children generally, they stole a piece of gum or something. I mean, when you're a little kid,
Hmm.
I was automatically told I'm going to
Hmm.
hell. So I'm like, oh,
Mm.
okay. God, I thought
I got that a
Jesus,
lot from.
God would.
I'm not afraid to say it, but I got a lot. I got that a lot. We have technical difficulties because we're in the state of Florida. Everybody, so the instruments kind of act up in the state of Florida. This is what's going to be the outcome sometimes. But
Yes,
Baptists, I'll throw that down. A lot of times, I was challenged and told, "Oh, why do you pay homage or give respect to Mary Magdalene?"
right, right,
They were women who came in contact with Jesus Christ.
right,
Why
right,
wouldn't I give them respect for the part that they play? They were there when he was nailed to the cross. They were there for during his teachings and his practice. And contrary to what most people believe, women were involved at the table with the apostles, the 12 apostles. And let me tell you something, some of them were female.
yes,
But there's remember, women were not allowed to do a lot of things, but that does not mean that women were not present. That does not mean that, and remember, a lot of things are being updated because a lot of, the church feels and believes they have the to hear certain truths. I know I'm
yeah. You cut out, Leonessa. So Yes, the church hopefully will start acknowledging more of the female role um with the apostles as well. Um Now until Leonessa comes back, I want to talk to you a little bit about what's the difference between an empath and a narcissist. Um, a narcissist and an empath they're very highly sensitive people, but narcissists are only for themselves, while empaths are about the whole world. Um, Most empaths are not aware of their spiritual reasons for being in toxic relationships. And why are empaths attracted to? Who are they attracted to mostly? And oddly enough, empaths are usually attracted to some sort of a narcissist. They're drawn to each other because empaths have a lot of compassion and understanding to give, while the narcissists they feed on someone worshiping them. So to them, the empath is worshiping them, and in return, the empath thinks that they're helping the other person. So it ends up being a toxic relationship. Now, are empaths considered old souls? Some believe that yes, because of the things that they feel, the things that they see, how they speak, their maturity at the age that they are. Um, it's like they've been here multiple times. If one believes in, I guess reincarnation, for those who don't, that's fine. But for those who do, um, they seem to know more than what they should. Um, they have a deep emotional level of feeling towards other people. Um, they could discern what others go through, and understand the feelings and take on those feelings of other people. Now, what are the four downsides of being a super empath that nobody really talks about? You seem you're always putting on an act. Um, you try to act happy when you may not be happy, but you do it to make others happy. You feel that you need to help everyone around you when you don't have the energy. Um, but you do it for the sake of not being called fake or whatever. Um, you can only see the good in people. No matter how badly someone behaves, nobody wants to believe that they're the bad guy. Are, Hi, Leonessa, you're back.
Yes, yes, I'm trying to get back in there again. The with the Florida weather.
Oh no, we froze again. You froze again. But great pose. Great pose. So, number four that I'll get to the last thing was you can guess things you're not supposed to know. Um, Especially very minute particular things. Some people don't understand, well, how did you know if I never expressed it, I never said that to somebody. Um, it's unintentional that you know, but you can pick it up from the person, not by them saying anything, but because of um, what you're feeding off of them. Um, but at the same time, you feel alone because it's hard to find other empaths like you. So you sort of feel like you're alone. Luckily, I have Leonessa, who I can talk to. Um, yes, Jasami, she does look like she was meditating there. Um, that was the best meditation look. I love that. Yes. Um, they carry the burdens of others on their shoulders. They find it having a hard time being around people because they don't feel the comfort, from a lot of people. So that's a little bit about 4 things that most people don't know about empaths. Hopefully we get. Oh, there she is. Hi, Leonessa. We're back. We're back. Okay. Are we back or are we posing? I love that pose too. Okay, we went from meditation to this. This is great. Um, Jasomni, this would be a great time to take a picture of this pose that she has going. This is great. Um, but I think it's important to try to understand a little more about empaths before making judgments. Um, we're not evil. We're not gonna do anything. We try to help others, even if it means we put ourselves um, at the bottom of the totem pole. We are very quick to lift others up, to make them feel better about themselves, to help them in any way possible. And that's what we do. So I hope that helps explain stuff to people, what an empath is. And again, the 11, I'll read quickly. I know Leonessa gave the link to go to for the Oracle and Tarot decks for empaths and highly sensitive people. I'll name the 11 real quick. The Starseed Oracle, the Spirit Song Tarot deck, the Moonology Oracle cards, the Shadowscapes Tarot, Kawaii Tarot, Work Your Light Oracle, Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck, Energy Oracle cards, the Zodiac Tarot, Oracle of the Fairies, and I believe the Oceanic Tarot deck. Those are the 11 tarot cards for the highly sensitive people. Um, and it's check it out. It might help you if you're looking for some sort of oracle cards that you'd like to read and use, and you weren't sure that was something you could do. So before, hi, welcome back.
I know.
Um,
I don't know how long it's gonna last.
well, I thought I'd get in now if that's okay with you. My card reading.
I don't want to miss this.
Okay, well let's see what we got.
Okay, well, before you do that, I wanted to finish my last statement before I get kicked off again.
Oh yes,
Again,
yes,
there's lots of things that everybody is not allowed to know, and that is why we have secrets. And some people think, oh, it's a horrible thing that the Catholic Church has secrets. No, it's not a horrible thing. There's a lot of people who are they're not right in the head, and they can't even process. If you can't even process what the Bible says now, how the heck are you going to handle the rest of the information? You know what I mean? I mean,
exactly,
we have
exactly.
secrets for a reason. It's not a bad thing. It's because some people are not mentally able to comprehend those things. Yeah,
Right, right.
that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. So the card I pulled is the Chariot. Hopefully you
A
can
little
see
bit
it.
higher on your nose, like right where your forehead is, like right there.
Okay,
A little
can we
bit,
see it?
like a little bit, like right in front of your eyes where you can't
Oh,
see us. Right in front of your, right in front of your face, like right there. There you go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Point it down a little bit. Point it like down, like tilt it, angle it. There you go. Now we can see it that better. And what's it called?
it's called the Chariot card. Now for
Oh, the
this
Chariot card.
card,
Okay.
yes, you'll see there's a. I call it. Well, no, you can't see it. Uh, there's a yin and yang little lion on the front. Now, this
A
also
yin
this
and yang.
yes,
Yeah.
that they look like the Sphinx.
Hmm.
So this is a card of success to help with confidence, determination, your victory over illnesses, enemies, financial problems. If you are going through financial problems, um, your goals will be achieved. You'll get self control, willpower, and discipline back. This is also good for your love life to help you understand that you need to have control in it. Now, because of these lions on the front, they're as you see they're together, showing calmness, there's peace. If it was reversed, it would show that there's a chaos going on, that these two, the yin and I call them the yin and yang sphinx, are out of alignment, they're going
Hmm.
in the opposite directions. But it looks like the king has half moons on his shoulders, so this is also showing right now, um, you need to guard against any sort of arrogance that you might have right now. And we've got to remember, respect is earned. It's not just given to you because your name is Joe Smo. Okay, respect is earned. Um,
Yes.
you're so as you're guarding against arrogance, you need to establish who you are as a person, and don't expect that everybody needs to know who you are. Show them who you are with kindness and grace. Well, that is
Yes.
my tarot card reading for the day.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I wanted
Yep.
to find out, was the show today acting up a lot on your end, Miss Lizzie?
Not. It didn't seem to be acting up too much on my end. I seem to jolt a little bit here and there, but that's about it.
Okay. Well, again, it's the Florida weather, everybody. And I will say this, that it happens. It happens on a few other shows that I'm on. You've seen it. We
Yes.
had some technical difficulties on other shows that I've been on and that you've been on, and
Yes.
so for anyone who might think,
For anybody who might
listen, y'all
think that,
shouldn't be saying,
there
yeah,
you
kind
go.
of like that.
Yeah.
No, it's because we're in Florida and it happens on our other shows too. It has nothing to do.
So
But
before we
there's a lot of immature folks out there.
mm, so before we end this show, Miss Leonessa, what other show are we going to see you on this upcoming week? So everybody knows where we can see your beautiful face.
Before we end the show, what was that again?
Where are you going to be this week? What other show are you going to be doing this week? So people can tune in and see your beautiful face.
Well, good luck. Difficulties up the kahoozies. It happens.
Yes.
I couldn't hear anything that you said. I'm so sorry. If you're able to, I think I can hear you now. Go ahead, try again.
Okay. What other show are you going to be on this week so people can see your beautiful face?
Okay. Well, was there another show coming up? The shout out to I Said It Management,
Yes.
for the show, from her point of view, from the ages 30 and up, women talking about relationships. And it's all from a woman's point of view. So a shout out to Asia Marie, my co-hostess for the show. I hope that you all can tune in. And if
Yes.
you follow I Said It Management on YouTube, you'll get to see the episode that Miss Lizzie was on. And it was very entertaining.
Yes. And again,
And you can
can
also
you
see a too.
yes. Yeah. So again, tell us also where we can vote for you.
You can go
So,
to Open Act. It's openact.com, openact.com/2022
yes.
/Lily the Goddess.
Yes.
LEE LEE, and then the little minus
Dash.
sign.
Yeah. DA dash GODDESS. TheOpenAct.com backslash or forward slash 2022 forward slash Leelee LEE dash
But now I need
DA
to S. I'm sorry.
dash
Take Yeah.
GODDESS. Gotcha. I
Yes,
gotcha.
and that's so that I could be a finalist in the competition. So please vote for me, everybody. You can vote for free, or you can use the vote together option, which the money that you donate goes to the American Suicide.
The American Suicide Association, I believe that's where it goes to help uh, those families and others. So let's push Lily to the top, Leonessa to the top. She's in the top 5. Let's keep it going. And we appreciate you all. Thank you so much for joining. Let's talk empath. And we'll be here every Sunday from 5 to 6. And stay tuned for new flyers coming up for our next show. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jasomni, for tuning in. It was a very fun show. Sorry again about technical difficulties. Florida weather, it's storming. This is what happens. And again, vote for Leonessa. She's in the top 5. TheOpenAct.com / 2022 / Lily the Goddess. Let's push her through to the top. Well, I guess while we're waiting, I'll throw one more card reading out there. Well, because we'll just do it. See what comes up. 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords. Let's see. Can we get it? Is it going to work? 3 of Swords. Maybe. Maybe not. Sort of. Kind of. It's a heart with 3 swords going in it. There's going to be, shows loss of sorrow, arguments with a lover, marriage or separation, or both is about to happen or is happening. 2 people are incompatible. That's why the relationship's not working out. There's probably cruelty, abuse, and that's causing emotional upheaval. Someone's going to betray you probably soon. But you also are capable of inflicting hurt. So mistakes are made. Accept the blame on your part that you've done. Whether they accept the part on theirs, that's another story. But accept the blame on your part. So yes, Jasomni, it's buffering or something. I'm just holding on to the show until Leonessa comes back. So as you see there was a chariot. Now this one was talking about incompatible lovers. So think before you act if you're in a relationship with somebody, before things go crazy and chaotic. If you're going through a horrible relationship, um, or separating from somebody because of abuse or whatever it may be, um, I'm very sorry to hear that. But in the end, you have to believe that everything happens for a reason. Things eventually will hopefully work out best for you. Um, Hang in there. I know it's hard. It's a very hard thing to go through, but you got this. We're still having technical difficulties. Hopefully, Leonessa will come back. Um, is there any fascinating facts anybody wants to share? Share it in the comment section about empaths. Oh, do we have Leonessa coming back?
Yes, I do. And we're going to call it a wonderful show today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm glad that you had a chance to listen to Lizzie and she can give y'all some advice and a card reading in for the ending card reading for today.
Yes.
Hopefully, I can ask this question. I don't know if I have time to ask this question. Lizzie,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
was our beginning? What was our beginning and ending card reading?
Well, I actually pulled another card waiting for you to come back. So we had the Chariot card, which was you need to keep things balanced, you know. And the last one was the Three of Swords, which talked about sorrow, loss, cruelty, abuse, loss of a relationship. But you know, stay strong in there. Yes.
Sounds good. Yes, the first one, again, if y'all missed it, once again, was that people are feeling not secure in their jobs, their relationships, and a bunch of other areas.
Right.
Don't fret, don't lose hope. Listen to the left card reading, the Chariot. That's so stay optimistic and keep praying. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us today. Even with our technical difficulties, we made it through. Yes.
We did.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
And I'll be seeing you. You go ahead and you give the final wave, Miss.